These are joint mapping drills for your lower body. Because we want to create maps in our brain for these joints, we'll take some time first to do some sensory stimulation and bring awareness to that area of a body. We can use the palms of our hands to do so. I'm going to start by starting on my pelvis, taking my hands to rub on the front, sides, and back. You can go anywhere from 30 seconds to as long as you need, bringing awareness here. I'm going to move down my legs and to my knees, rubbing the sides, front, insides, and back my knees. I can make circles, I can spend about 30 seconds or as long as I need. And then I'll go lastly down to my ankles. I can always have a little bend in my knees if I need for mobility. I'm going to rub the sides, front, other sides, and back part of my ankles, and then even all the way down to my feet. Spending about 30 seconds or as long as you need, going down the entire body. Now we're ready to begin. Starting with my pelvis, I'm going to do some anterior and posterior tilts. Turn to the side and have a slight bend in my knees, keeping the weight even foot to foot. I can place my hands onto my hips to feel the bony protuberances in the front and the back. Then I'm going to tuck my tailbone under, feeling the back side of my thumbs go down, the front part of my hips go up. Then I'll create an arch the other way, back side goes up, front side goes down. I'll move my hands just so you can see my pelvis arching and tucking. You can stay here, or to make it more challenging, I'll straighten my legs out and arch and tuck. Finding neutral in between that as we move on to now going up and down or hip hiking. Here we go. I'm going to start with bending one knee. The knee that bent is the hip side that goes down, the other one goes up, and I'll repeat. As I do so, I can even think I would like to even begin to shift a little bit, so the leg that is straight and the hip that is up is the one I can stand on. From here, to make it a little more challenging, I'm going to straighten my legs out and shift my hips side to side, experiencing the same thing. One hip going up, the other side going down. Thinking about it like an elevator. After I've comboed these moves, I'm going to build them together to go for a full pelvic circle. How I'm going to do this is toss my hair back. All right, then I'm going to find my center point. From there, I'm going to shift to the side and then create an arch. Once I'm there, I'm going to tuck my hips under, push them forward, around to the other side, create an arch, shift back to the other side, tuck under, shift, arch. Thinking of like a nice cylindrical bowl. Didn't say that correctly, that's all right. We'll keep rolling with this video and this pelvic circle. I'm going to switch my directions. And I'll even turn to the side so you can see as I arch, shift, tuck under, push to the other side, and create the arch. And your dance moves ready. Wonderful. Now if I move down into my knees, I'm going to think about keeping my pelvis fairly neutral. I'll start with a staggered stance, toes pointing forward and a close or safe and comfortable distance apart so we don't feel out of balance. Starting with the front knee circle, I'm going to make sure my knee is all the way straight. I can look at it. More challenging is looking forward and just making sure it's straight. Then I'm going to bend the knee, slightly unlocking it, taking it forward, into the middle, forward, out, and around. As you work, isolating into the knee circle, keeping your hips as still as possible, so that way they do not go with you. Will help you isolate it. You might move a little bit, all within reason. I'm going to reverse the direction of the circle. I'm also going to turn, just so you can see the knee circle from the front. Keeping my foot flat so I have a foot tripod will also help isolate this knee circle. Now I'm going to take this to a back knee circle. I'll start facing this direction, but I'm going to first make sure my back knee is all the way straight. After I do that, I can then slightly bend it, take it into the middle, forward, out, and around. This one, usually because of the bony structures and placement of the legs, is less range of motion, so don't push it too hard. I'll turn to the side. And you can also reverse the direction. Goal to keep the foot flat onto the ground. You might feel a deep calf stretch. back knee circles. You can repeat these on both sides. Front knee circle and back knee circle. Lastly, if I put in some hip circles, I'm going to come back up to my hips. I'm going to slightly tuck them under, and here we go, just neutral, pushing to the side, forward, out, and around. I can switch the direction of these hip circles. Feeling this more in the leg bone in the socket. And then I'll also do this in a split stance to add in the balance challenge. So if I have my legs hip width apart, I'm going to push them to the side, forward, other side, back and around. Creating a big hip circle. Switching directions. And switching legs. And those are some joint mapping drills for your lower body. Enjoy!